I'm going to start prepping now for this gorgeous steam meal. So we're going with some caramelised red onion sausages, and they smell really lovely. Potatoes for the bottom that we're going to then make into the mash. I'm going to have 500 millilitres of water with the potatoes, and then carrots, I'm just going to peel those and chop them into circles. So this is a really easy method to follow, so I think you're all going to really like this one. I'm going to put the potatoes right in the very bottom, so they go there. So I've just literally got the pot in here. I've made some vegetable stock. Of course, you could literally just put water into this if you prefer, but I've got 500 millilitres of veggie stock going in. So this is the rack that I have prepared. So in the bottom, so the middle, we have got the carrots. Potatoes are going to be underneath, and then we've got the sausages on top. So let me just try and put that in. Just trying to make sure that goes right down to the bottom, but that's fine. We fitted everything in, and I've got a lot in here. You could even fit a few more sausages on top here if you needed to. Let's close that lid. So that's nice and quick and easy. The biggest amount of time is just spent doing a little bit of prep of peeling vegetables, so not really a lot of effort at all. So we're going to slide this across, and we've got combi steam. So this is the middle setting that we're on, and we want to select steam meals, and I'm going to turn that temperature down to 190, and this is only going to take 14 minutes. And we just press start. Whoa, look at those sausages. I didn't think they were going to have that much colour on them. I thought they might look a little bit anemic, but they look great. Oh, look at them. They are so soft. Just using my knife to go in there. They are perfect. I'm now going to drain those and we can mash them. The mashed potato literally is so soft. It took hardly any butter or milk to go in this. Absolutely delicious. So a lovely large portion of mash there. We can grab some carrots. Pop those on the plate, and then a couple of sausages, and then I'm going to pour over some lovely thick gravy. I'm going to start by weighing out my rice. I'm just using a basmati rice here, and I'm going to have 170 grams. Now you could go to town with the rice and add in as much flavour as you want to. I'm actually going to keep the rice quite simple because my son's eating this dinner tonight and he doesn't like any spice. Chicken's going to be separate, so it doesn't matter that I'm cooking it with the Cajun, so it's really handy. If you do have some fussy eaters, you can definitely make this kind of dinner. I'm going to put in a vegetable stock pot, so I'm going to use that in the rice, and that's really going to help to give it some flavour. Into the rice, I'm literally simply going to put a carrot, which is going to be diced up, and then also some peas, because they are vegetables that he really enjoys. Nice big chunky florets here. I'm going to use the foil, and I'm going to pop the broccoli inside just so that we can steam it and it's not going to get charred. We want to get lots of Cajun on here. I'm going to give that a rub into the chicken. Cover both sides, plenty of seasoning. It's going to give us lots of flavour. This really is a very basic dinner, but I think it's a good family meal. Plus, you don't have to use Cajun. You can just use this method and put whatever you like into this, the same as the rice. Use what flavours you want. If you want to put loads of garlic into that rice, then go for it. With the chicken breast, we want to make another parcel. To begin, we just want to pour the rice into the bottom of the pot. Now I'm going to make up some stock, and I'm actually going to use some boiling water. It's just going to help speed things up. I really like these stock pots, they're really great. I'm going to use some boiling water to make up the stock. So I want about 550 millilitres, which is a pint. Let's try and give that a mix and try and dissolve as much of that stock in there as we can. Put the vegetables in, so we've got carrots and peas, and I've also added a little bit of sweet corn as well. Now we can pour over our veggie stock. And then over the top of that, we'll place our rack. I've got the broccoli on the middle one and the chicken on the top. Right, we need to close the lid and then put the slider over to the center on the combi steam, and we want steam meals, which is the first setting. We're gonna leave that on 200 and we're gonna change the time to 20 minutes, and it's as simple as that. What I want to do is just get into this chicken, have a little look. Oh, it looks nice. So that is what the chicken is looking like. Smells absolutely delicious. Just gonna lift the chicken off the top, and then we can remove the rack, and we've got that broccoli in there that we can get out. And now let's check the rice. This looks really lovely. There's no liquid left in there. If you have a look, nice and fluffy, and the carrots look soft, which is great. Let's have a look at the broccoli. Oh, that has steamed really nicely. That looks great as well. Let me show you that. So here is our broccoli. Here we go. So a one pot meal, but using the 3 tiers. We're going to start with the base, and I'm putting in some coconut milk, and I've got one of these half cans. This is quite good. You can get these in places like B&M, so it's 165 millilitres. I'm only actually making this for my husband tonight. We need a quick dinner, and I'm hoping this is going to work really well. I've put a kettle on so that I've got some boiling water to make the stock. I've just put in this can the rice, so we've got an equal part of the coconut milk and the rice. Now these stock pots have got lemongrass, ginger and chilli in them, so ideal for this type of recipe. I was quite excited when I found those in Sainsbury's. So just giving this a little stir just to dissolve the stock the best that I can. And now we can get that in. Got some baby corn, which I'm just going to fold up in the foil. It'll just steam away and it just stops it from burning. Just create a little parcel, that's what I normally do. Tuck them in. And then I've got my piece of salmon here. To add more flavour, I got this, which is from Sainsbury's again, inspired to cook, a fragrant Thai base, great for stir fries and curries. And I thought, why not add this to the salmon for extra flavour? Let's give that a sniff. Oh, that smells incredible. So let's pop a little bit of that over the salmon. Imagine that steaming away. It's going to be really fragrant, which is what Thai food is all about. And again, we just need to fold that in. So with the rack, I'm going to pop the sweet corn on the middle there and the salmon on the top. And then we can just lower that into the pot. Of course, you can easily increase the quantities on this, but you won't need to increase the time. So the time that you're cooking it is going to remain the same, but you could put a lot more veg, you could put several pieces of salmon, more rice, etc. on there. So slide this over to the middle, and we want that on steam meals. And I'm just going to increase the time up to 15 minutes. Right, this is just finished. Let's have a look inside. Let's open up the parcel of salmon to start with. Oh, it smells beautiful. And it looks really, really good. And then our lovely big fragrant piece of salmon on top. How quick was that? To make this Nando's meal, we're going to start by popping our rice into the bottom of the pot. So I've got my chicken here ready. I'm going to put a little bit of this Nando's peri peri rub onto that, just to add some good flavour. The idea behind this dish came actually from this garlic medium peri peri sauce. So I'm actually going to use some of this in the rice to flavour it, but we've got quite a lot here, so I'm going to put a little bit on the chicken. That's going to help just keep that nice and moist, and then the rest of that is going to go into the rice. When I've made a steam meal before, I haven't always packaged up the chicken like that. And I'm just hoping that that's going to be better, stop it drying out so much. So let's give that a whirl. Now we're going to put our vegetables onto here. I've got some tender stem broccoli and then also some sugar snaps. I've made up my stock. You can use chicken, veggie stock, whatever you fancy really. And then let's get the rest of that sauce in here with the rice. So that was probably around 100 grams, I would say, of that we had left. I'm going to just rinse the pot out using a little bit of this stock so we don't waste any of that flavour. The stock that we're using, measurement, is 1.5 times the amount of rice. With the vegetables, I'm going to just make a little parcel like I always do. And I know a few people do add a little bit of water into the veg, and that just really helps them just to steam that a little bit more. So let's give that a try as well. To me, this is all about trial and error and working out the best way to create a really delicious meal. And now we can lower the rack on top of the rice. Just slide that across. Now I'm on the steam meals. We want 200 for 15 minutes. Got my parcel of chicken here, so let's open that up and just check it looks good. Whoa, yeah, it looks really nice. Look at that. Let's serve up some of the rice. Now let's open up our parcel of green veg. Let's add that to the plate. The chicken is cooked, so it's really tender, which is lovely. Just going to put that on the plate. And we can drizzle over a little bit of that NANDO'S sauce onto the chicken as well. Now let's drizzle over some of that NANDO'S garlic sauce. And all that's left to add is my pieces of halloumi. I've got my Ninja on sear and saute. You don't have to use sesame oil, but I love the flavour of this. It's really good for stir fry. It's got a nice nuttiness to it. It's going to use a tiny bit because it does have a lot of calories, unfortunately. So just a little bit of that. I'm just going to let that heat up and then we can put our veggies in. So just want to saute the veg just to start softening it. I've got some carrots and I've just sliced these up into small little batons, and we've got the same with the peppers, and then the broccoli is in tiny little florets. It's just going to help it to cook quicker and easier. I don't mind a little bit of bite to my vegetables, but I don't really want them super crunchy in this sort of dish. I've also got my rack ready because we're going to be using that in a while. Right, I can hear that sizzling. Let's get the veg in. I've got 2 large chicken breasts here, and we want to add a little bit of oil onto those as well, just so I don't have to use too much. I'm gonna get my brush, and I'm gonna use my brush just to brush those over. Now I'm gonna be using the probe today, and if you've seen my other videos telling you about using the probe, you'll know that it needs to go in the thick end of the chicken breast. So that end is thicker, and then this end is also thicker. We've got 1 probe, so I will literally insert it probably into the one that looks the biggest, probably this one, and we'll just make sure that that is then fully cooked. I think I've been kind of obsessed with steam meals, being that everything has to cook at the exact same time, and it has to all be in one pot and be in there, say, for like 15 minutes, all done. So this is a little bit of a variation on that. I'm going to turn down the sear and saute slightly because that is a little bit too high. So I'm just going to keep them moving because we don't want really much colour on them. We just want to soften them. Because this is a Chinese style dinner, I'm going to use some Chinese 5 spice, and I'm going to use that to season my chicken. You can use whatever veg you like in here. If you want to put in some bean sprouts, that would be lovely. Anything you've got left over in your fridge really is good. And And again, with the sauce that you use, you can use whichever sort of Chinese style sauce you want. So that could be black bean, you can make it more like a chow mein. We are going to be putting noodles into this, so whatever you feel goes nice with noodles, then use it. Great, I'm happy with the softness of the veg there. So I'm going to stop the sear and saute. And into that, I'm going to add my Chinese style sauce, and I've got around 300 millilitres here. And I'm just going to literally wash this out with a little bit of extra water just to loosen it. There you go. Give that veg a stir. The smell is beautiful. Now I can lower down my rack, and that's got my chicken sitting on top. I've had a few people lately ask me about the probe. So it is located on the right hand side. You just literally press in the side here, just on here, and this is your probe inside. It's one of those things that people don't even realise they've got, and they think they have to purchase it separately. But you don't, which is great. Take the stopper out of the lid. So now this can be inserted just in here where that came out of. And now what I want to do is get this into the thickest part of the chicken, just here. You want that to run nice and horizontally in that chicken breast. Right, so just give my hands a wash after touching that. As you can see, it comes up here with your preset or manual options, but we're going over to the middle because we're going to be using steam meals. But as you can see, it still shows up here that you can use that. So what we want to do with this is that we want to go with the preset. We want to go with chicken, and we want our chicken well done. Reason for using the probe is that we can get that chicken out as soon as it's cooked, and we can rest it. Then we can continue with the rest of the recipe. That way, I'm not going to get over to cook chicken, because I've made that mistake before. Never again. So let's press start. And remember, when you're steaming, you don't have to worry about the vent up above. That is literally for pressure cooking only. And again, that's something that I've recently found out. So yeah, let's go. It's a little bit noisy, but you can see here that our target temperature is 75 for the chicken, and we're currently at 16, going up to 17, so it shouldn't take too long at all. So the Ninja has literally just ended, so that is telling me that my chicken is cooked. So let's have a little look at that. The veggies are bubbling away in that sauce. Let me get that chicken out and let's get that rested. Now, this very much depends on what noodles you're using. I'm using some rice noodles here, and I have cooked those, so they're pretty much cooked. They're not going to need a lot longer. Some noodles you can use straight to wok ones. I have to use these because I'm gluten free, so that's why I'm using rice noodles. But literally just stir those into your sauce. And how quick is that? You've literally got your veggies there with your noodles, and then we're resting the chicken. Give that a few moments and we can slice the chicken and serve this on top. Oh, look at the juice coming out of that. Can you see that? Look at the juice running out on my knife. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Should we have a little taste? Should we be a bit naughty? Let's grab a bit. Oh yeah, it tastes good. I'm telling you. This one's a slightly thicker one. So juicy, so nice. So pleased with this. Oh, get that in the bowl. Look how delicious this is. Glossy. Veg is nice and soft. Can put that chicken breast right on top. Now I think that looks a really great steam meal. I've added a few sesame seeds. Of course, you could add some spring onions or whatever you like. But this looks pretty damn good. For a one-pot dinner, took literally no time at all. This is such a success. I highly recommend you try making this.